Ingredients: crust filling topping steps. Crush graham crackers in a food processor until they are well ground. Stir in sugar, melted butter, and a pinch of salt. Combine well. I've made a lot of dessert bars in my day. Here we are at the next step in this incredibly involved Genshin Impact quest chain. I've used box mixes and done some from scratch. In my opinion, from scratch versions are typically better, but if you're in a hurry, boxed versions work fine too. The problem is some dessert bars can be finicky when made from scratch. At this point you'll have completed the A Strange Story and Konda quest, which will have led you to the Sacrificial Offering quest. The next quest you get as part of the chain is called Cleansing Defilement. Some require gelatin, which makes them not vegetarian friendly. While you previously cleansed 2 of the roots, there are now 3 more to go. The locations of the next roots to cleanse are in the Chinju Forest, the Araumi region, and the tidal flats to the east of Kamisato Estate. Genshin Impact Cleansing Defilement. Chinju Forest. Once you arrive in Chujin Forest completing the Sacrificial Offering guide, this new quest will appear. Some require careful temperature control. Follow the path through the forest and you'll routinely hear a voice calling to you. Just stay on the path. In the end, you'll have some enemies to defeat and a statue to talk to. Some just plain don't work. But this recipe is about as easy as it gets for homemade dessert bars. You'll be tasked with finding 3 little tanukis and playing with them. Backtrack down the path and a tanuki will appear, it will dance and then disappear. The crust is pretty straightforward. The filling is only a few ingredients. Follow it until it becomes a torch and set it on fire to get the first one. To the west of the quest area are 3 hilichurls, defeat them and break the barrel on the rock to reveal the second tanuki. The last tanuki will appear and be on a rock on the side of the path. He may not appear until the other 2 are found. Cooking it does take some time, but it's pretty much foolproof. Oh, and they are very delicious. Recipe: key lime bars with coconut whipped cream. To start these bars, you need to set up a really simple mold so you can easily get them out of the pan later. To do this, just line an 8x8 dish with aluminum foil. Use 2 sheets of foil and lay them in opposite directions. Press the foil down into the pan well and fold the edges over the top of the pan. For the crust, just crumble the graham crackers. A food processor works well for this. Follow him down the path and into the river, and finally, he'll turn into 3 torches. Then add the sugar, melted butter, and pinch of salt to the crumbled crackers. Light them all to complete this part of the quest. After speaking with the large trapped tanuki Yoroi, once more head to the eastern cliffs where the waypoint directs you. This puzzle is a bit more complicated. Use the image below to tell you where to go. After completing the circuit you'll have to fight an electro-based samurai. Stir this up well and press it into the prepared pan. Bake this at 325 degrees for about 20 minutes. Then let it cool completely before pouring in the filling. Speaking of the filling, the first thing you'll need to make this is a bunch of key limes. If you aren't familiar with key limes, they are the very small limes that are normally sold in 1-pound bags. Juice all these limes, take your time, and then stir the lime juice in with the other filling ingredients. Whisk the filling until it's smooth and you're ready to go. It's one of the easiest fillings I've ever made. Once your filling is ready, pour it onto the cooled crust and smooth it out. The next step will help your bars not to crack or dry out. Once defeated, that's 1 down. Genshin Impact Cleansing Defilement. Araumi. When you arrive in Araumi you'll see a ruined structure with a locked switch in front of it. It's not completely necessary though. If you want, get a larger dish and place your bar dish inside the larger dish for baking. Right before you put it in the oven, add about 4 cups of boiling water to the larger pan. This will create a steaming water bath as the bars bake, which will keep them from drying out and cracking. Bake the bars at 325 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. The filling should set firmly and there will be lots of very tiny bubbles on the surface of the bars. Once cooked, take the bars out and let them cool at room temperature for about 2 hours. Around the perimeter, there will be 5 different electro sigils that you need to activate to unlock the switch. Then cover them and move them to the fridge for at least an hour to cool completely. When you're ready to serve the bars, just lift out the foil from the pan and gently fold it away from the bars. Meanwhile, add your cream, sugar, and vanilla to a large bowl and whisk until the cream forms stiff peaks. Add this to the bars and sprinkle them with shredded coconut. The coconut is optional, but it pairs really well with the tangy lime flavors. Then chop the bars up into 16 squares. The bars have lots of flavor. The crust is a bit sweet, the filling is creamy and tangy, and the topping is light and flavorful. The directions to these 5 electro sigils will be based on the location of the switch. North. A locked electro sigil will require you to defeat enemies southeast, a normal electro sigil will be further up on some ruins east. Another unlocked sigil west. This sigil requires you to complete a rotating block puzzle to gain access at the switch. There's a sigil right there. Nice and easy. After activating the switch you'll be able to access a chest in the ruin. If you scan the 3 kitsune statues they'll each reveal a button. Press them all and you can drop further down into the ritual site. Scan the kitsune statue near the protected door to make a tree appear that you can use. Summon Electrogranum on to get through the door to the kitsune shrine. Use an electro attack on the kitsune to get the ward for this ritual. In this room there's also a rotating block puzzle to get a precious chest. After activating the ward a symbol will appear like normal, but it looks like you don't have enough small shrines to get it going. Everything works really well together. Make these and take them to a picnic or party and people will be asking you for the recipe for sure. Nick recommends recruiting a few elves to help juice the key limes. Also, check out his blog, Machismo, and his tablespoon profile. We also love. Look upon the wall behind the central shrine and you'll see 2 small glowing kitsune. Look at both of these to have the missing small shrines appear. Defeat the samurai again and you're done cleaning this part of the world. Genshin Impact Cleansing Defilement. Kamisato Estate Tidal Flats. This portion of the quest takes place on the Tidal Flats to the east of the Kamisato Estate. The first place you're going to want to go is the little hill where you'll also find an Electroculus. Scan the small kitsune statue and a large one will appear, hit it with an electro attack and you'll get the ward needed. Now that you have the ward, head out further east to the first island. You'll see 3 kitsune statues looking into a hole where a small one is. Scanning it will make the floor disappear. Here you can drop down to find the next area. Watch out though because you'll take consistent electro damage due to it being an X region. You can combat this by getting an Electrogranum, so be ready to go fast. Inside you'll set up the shrines like in the image below and this time 2 samurai will appear. They're far weaker than the previous samurai, but the real difficulty will be dancing between the multiple Electrogranum points so you don't keep taking damage. Cleansing Defilement. Purification complete. After you've cleared the last of the root systems, return to the tree in the cave near Konda village. Unfortunately, you're not done yet and you now need to purify the center of the tree. For this you'll get the quest Yugu Cleansing.